Well, it's different from most other maps. Basically, it's going to be a two-gate expand, almost certainly, from these players. And in the top right, as the white Protoss, we have Alfio, who has like an extra O in his name. Let me actually type it like he does. All right, is that right? Okay. All right, sweet. And in the bottom left, as the yellow Protoss, is Energy God. Once again, they're very similar colors. It's quite annoying. I mean, it's already PvP, and yet they have to be similar colors. At least they're not like blue and teal or something, which would be impossible to see on Blue Storm with this tile set. But anyway, as I said, due to the nature of this map, the open, natural expansion, everything on low ground, the direct path between the bases, you basically always see 10-12 gate into expansion in PvP. And it looks like, yep, neither player going for Le Cheese. Now, I wonder how God feels going into this game, because I mean, 3-gate Goon is a little bit cheesy. I mean, you know, if he was going DT, the 3-gate would just immediately lose. So, you know, and also if he had skipped Observer and just gotten a Reaver straight away, he might possibly have been able to defend it. I'm not sure. It was quite close there. So yeah, let's see what these players decide to do in this game. There is the gateway for both players. I was gonna say something else. What was I gonna say? Oh yes. Alfio's build was very interesting though. With that late gas. I mean, go with 3-gate Goon. That's exactly what he wanted. You don't need that much gas. If you're going for a mass Goon build, basically you need one. Oh, it's got a little bit of a probe skirmish. Basically, in order to support constant Goon production, you need one guy on gas per gateway Goon. So if you have two gateway Goons and you want to keep producing Dragoons, or if you have two gateways and you keep producing Dragoons, you need two guys on gas. If you have three, you need three guys on gas. So obviously, if you start mining too early, you build up a bank of gas that you don't actually need. Obviously, you do need the 150 for range, but after that, you actually don't need an insane amount of gas. And looks like Alfio doing La Probe Harass. There are the two gates from both players, almost identical timings. And yeah, looks like we have a mirror build so far. So the interesting thing is going to be to see who actually expands first, which will of course force the other player possibly to go for an early zealot attack. Which should be not too hard to defend. I mean, basically, if you don't know this map on Blue Storm, there is this narrow choke leading right outside your natural, and then there's this wider ramp that has a more roundabout route. So Zealots can fit through here, but Dragoons can't, which means that early game Zealot attacks can be effective, except, you know, if your opponent also has a decent number of Zealots, they can easily block this up, and it's not so easy. And looks like Alfio went for a Manor Pylon here, as did God, so both players mannering each other. I think it looks like God's Pylon actually went down first, so Alfio did his in response, but God already with Zealots there is going to force that down, which means that God might be able to expand quite a bit earlier. Did Alfio's Zealots for some reason are later here? I think Alfio might have been trying to go for an earlier expansion, and God, seeing that, planted down the pylon. So there is God's Nexus. God's Nexus does get up earlier. Alfio manages to kill the pylon, and now will be able to plant his Nexus. But his is going to be just a touch behind, just a few seconds, so shouldn't make the most difference. But I mean, every little bit counts, especially in mirror matchups where you know, just a tiny lead like that could certainly win you the game. Over if you propagate your lead. Gas being taken. No gas yet for Alfio. He has continued to make some Zealots, as has God, so I'm not actually sure why Alfio doesn't have his gas yet. Now he's taking his gas, and ooh, looks like God's probe was here, like posing as if it was gonna gas steal, but he didn't actually do it. I don't know if he was actually planning to, or if that was just a fake. I can't be certain. I mean, obviously with the natural coming up here, Alfio could, I guess, just take his natural gas, but you know, would delay his tech a little bit, I guess. And probe running around. Gonna see the 7x core. So wow, look at that. GoD's cybernetic score is actually a lot faster than Alfio's, and he's getting well, I guess both players getting this probe scout in. Of course, the probe scout, you know, shouldn't really die until a Dragoon gets out. Probes are of course faster than Zealots, so if you're on top of it, which it looks like Alfio is not. Alfio, just as I was talking about it, going to lose his scouting probe. I think that's quite a huge blunder. There's really no reason to lose that with only Zealots on the field. Unless you get unlucky and get surrounded, but no, look at that. Look at that. GoD is doing a nice job here. Now, what tech has he on? Looks like a fast Citadel. And taking a second gas, so most likely going to be Templars. Needs that extra gas for that. Obviously, if he was just going for some kind of weird mass speed lot build, he wouldn't need that extra gas. And no second gas from Alfio yet, but I guess his core isn't actually done yet. Okay, now his core is done. Let's see what he goes for. He does take a second gas. I would imagine it's a Citadel as well. That I think that is the most common follow-up here. He's not actually making anything though. No, he's actually going for Dragoon range. Ooh, that's very interesting. You know, usually on this map, or at least judging from the round of 96 games, Zealot Templar is quite popular on this map due to the fact that, well, Dragoons can't get through here. Well, I guess due in part to the fact that Dragoons can't actually walk through here. So if you misrally your gateways, you can end up with a lot of Dragoons just freaking out at your natural. I think you actually have to rally somewhere like up here or something in order to fix it. But yeah, it's and so, you know, for that reason, it's going Dragoons is mildly annoying, and also because you start off with a 2-gate, so you usually end up with a lot of extra Zealots here. So, you know, transitioning into speed lot Templar is fairly smooth, as Day 9 would say. It's not very bumpy. I like these pylons here at the edge of his base by Alfio. And looks like GoD's not doing anything like that. I actually forgot. I actually didn't check in the beginning of the game. I don't recall either player actually scouting the inside of their main. Of course, there is this wide area over here in your main that you know, you can have proxies built there. So a player who's playing very safe will usually check that, but I don't think either player actually did that in the beginning of the game. And oh, looks like the range was actually cancelled and remade. Okay, that's interesting. He's now getting leg speed as well, getting 2 more gateways. I'm not really sure what that's about. Now he's getting an observer. No forge for cannons, instead opting for obs. So GoD going for cannons for detection, whereas Alfio going straight for observers. A very interesting deviation right here. Meanwhile, GoD has got his +1 started already. And I like this spotting pylon, by the way, because of course it's very easy to storm drop the natural with this cliff here. You can just run in, drop some Templars. So having that pylon there is quite nice. And there are, looks like 2 DTs running around, but they're freaking out because this Zealot is actually blocking the narrow choke right there. So Alfio doing a nice job, and looks like his first obs will be out in time to stop the DTs. But of course, I think it's still a little bit... he's gonna run in? Oh no, I was just gonna say it's a little bit dangerous if you don't have cannons, because even if you have observers, it is so easy for DTs to just walk in while you're not paying attention. And of course, DTs do one-shot probes, so there will not be any kind of warning sound for Alfio. This DT is just wailing away here, and now there's one in the natural. No, it's not gonna get in because of that Zealot, but this DT is on 10 kills right now. Alfio does not notice. He's too busy walking his army around. Oh my goodness, 14 kills. He finally notices, but the DT already has 14 kills. That could already have decided the game right there. And finally, an observer is pulling back here. Probe's just freaking out in a panic. Oh man, this is like one of those horror movies, man. DT is like the crazy guy with the chainsaw, just hunting down these poor kids. I don't know what's a stereotypical like setting for that. I don't know, some kind of summer camp or something, and all the kids are just getting slain one by one by this evil guy, and they're just panicking, running against gateways and stuff. Anyway, it's like another cannon going down in the main. Some Templars are out already. I assume they have Storm. Yep, nothing's researching, so I guess they do. And it looks like this DT will get hunted down, but I mean, 14 kills. Oh no, it doesn't! Oh no! The Observer wasn't there. Oh man, I think he's gonna get a few more kills right here. The Observer is too slow. It's too slow. 15 kills, 16, 17, 18, 19 kill DT. Lost 5 more probes than he should have. Sending out a scouting probe now. And we'll see a few random units here. But with that, I think GoD has secured himself a mighty advantage in this game. Now getting a robo of his own. He's on 7 gateways. Very nice and neat building placement. As is Alfio's actually. But it is 6 gateways against 7. Alfio only just getting his archives. Oh man, and those storms are just gonna really, really turn the battles in GoD's favor if he can land those properly. You really need some storms. And look at that. All this while his Templars are just building up energy. So this Templar already almost at 200 energy. Whoa, I heard Narcon. There it is. Being morphed. I assume a +1 is finished already. Yes, indeed. Looks like +1 is finished for GoD. Alfio, no upgrades yet. His Forge, of course, was quite a bit later than GoD's, but he is actually taking his mineral only right now. So going to get a bit of a economic advantage, or at least trying to. Then again, I guess having lost all those probes, it won't necessarily be an advantage, but it's like, excuse me, it's what he needs to do to come back in this game. And I like that he does have a cannon here now. I wish he would build a cannon in his main though. I mean, it's just, yeah, see, look at this. GoD playing very, very safe. Has a cannon in the mineral line there. Has a cannon near the probes here. So it's just so easy for a random DT to just walk in and kill all your probes when you're not looking. I mean, the investment of 1 cannon is just absolutely worth it in my opinion. But leading with these Templars is very risky. Trying to get some storms off on the army before the engagement goes off. Does get some nice storms. Kills his opponent's observer. And there are still plenty of storms to go around. And actually, a big army advantage. But no, never mind. All the Dragoons coming in from the back. But Speedlots are pretty good against Dragoons. And can he get the storms off? He's not storming. He needs to get the storms off. That's a good storm. There are some storms. And it looks like GoD is going to crush through here with the Speedlot Templar composition. Alfio's third base is now, well, it's probably going to die. He's also behind on the upgrades, of course. +1 against no upgrades. And Speedlots are just so good against Dragoons. And, oh, a nice storm by Alfio, taking down some of the units as they come down the ramp. Another nice storm by Alfio, but I don't think it matters. GG! And GoD evens up the score 1-1. And we will be going into a game 3. So who will advance to the round of 32? Will it be the Invite Alfio? Or the